Hi guys, so there seem to have been some issues with the audio the first time I recorded this, so I'm just going to redo it like this, everyone's able to hear it. So first of all, this is a build on Thunder teams, and this is a request by someone on the YouTube called Taya Main. If I'm mistaking your name, I'm sorry. So first of all, what pushes you to go mono Thunder? One of two things, getting either Leventor or Bell. So in my opinion, it's more getting Belle that's going to matter because she has much more links and she's more of a core player. But again, Leventor is the best striker of Thunder. So there are a few players that are necessary, irrelevant of how you're building your Thunder team. Of course, both legends are needed, but there's also Veronica, Nera, Luca, Cynthia, and Raclette. Those are players that, irrelevantly of what's going on, should be added. I just want to point out, for all of those of you who are not aware of this, Eden is a 4-star. She's right here, yet she is considered usable as a 5-star as she has great skill and great base stats. So she is the only 4-star that people will actually use, and she can be added to a mono Thunder team. So let's get started. What is important on a mono Thunder team? So I'm just going to go from the back of the team to the front. So goalkeeper wise, there's basically 3 goalkeepers, Robin, Nute, and Raclette. They're all bad except for Raclette. That's all you need to know. You're going to get this goalkeeper irrelevantly of what's going on. She's great. She has a lot of life. She has a lot of resistance built in. If you look at her skills, max height, extra defense, max height, critical resistance, is just really great. She's going to be one of those super tanky goalkeepers. And on top of it, she has some pretty great slots, knowing that Thunder has the Thunder defense stone. So first of all, she's pretty great. So that's the goalkeeper you're going to be putting irrelevantly. But the thing is, Thunder has mono Thunder totems. So she's going to be getting some very nice buffs from this. So in the back line, irrelevantly of what you're deciding to throw in your Thunder team, you're going to put center back our great friend Nerua. Why you want her? She has some really great skills, but this is the most important one of them all. Increase max height and defense of Thunder players by 20%. All of them. Goalkeeper, frontline, attackers, anywhere in the team. This is just a great buff. Also, for those who are unaware, defense will increase the chance of co-op defense, making it even more frustrating for the opponent team. Her other skills involve increasing critical resistance, counter-attack resistance, great for a backline. And then again, she's an elemental totem, so you're going to decrease damage from Wormwind, who's a natural enemy of Thunder, and Light, who actually, that is not really valid. And even her active is a great steal. So she is a great player all around, and the question is, which skill do you not want to max out? Because if you could, maxing them all out wouldn't be a problem. Now, on a backline, I want to point out that there are 2 new EE players that are now pretty interesting to throw in the back line. The one I personally prefer in the new ones is going to be Nikita. She is a season 2, so this will be frustrating for a lot of you. She has some really nice skills. So she's going to have a nice decreased damage when people try to attack or steal from her. So it's really great. And she has a counter attack. Basically, from the point that she holds the ball, she can't be stolen upon, who's really nice. And then she's going to increase speed, max height, and defense within position, who's again a great buff. And this is why I find her great. Like I said, Thunder has some great totems, and this is irrelevantly of where you are on the line level. She's going to recover 20% spirit every 3 minutes, irrelevantly, who's just a great generation on any level you're playing. Especially, you should know that Thunders have some really nice active skills, so this is just great. And she has a long pass, so if you have her, I would really advise throwing her in. Now, fairly recently, we've gotten Butcher. Butcher used to be pretty bad. He's a bit better, but what's really nice is he has this one new skill. Increase hype of allies within position by 15% of an attack. I want to note that the only other real healer of Thunder is Freya, and this would allow him to still be a penetrator with all the skills of a penetrator, yet heal the line. So throwing this in a back line would finally allow Thunder to stop its one main problem, healing, something it can't do. And on top of it, knowing Raclette has so much life, combining her with a form of healing is extremely powerful. It's something that Thunder usually can't do. Now, in case you don't have those players that are also pretty nice to throw in backline that you're going to find pretty often are going to be, for example, Guinevere. I know it's not her ideal position, but the reason why it's pretty nice is because she's going to increase penetration, critical damage, and this is the magical skill. Recover action bar with a penetration, recover hype first, combined with Merciless, who gets another turn with 100% chance when you attack, meaning she's going to be recovering every time she does this 50% in total between both hits, making her basically immortal. So that's why she's a really nice back. Or you could even go the Eden way. As I said, she has some pretty nice skill, defense, action speed, counterattack, critical resistance, a decrease inflicted damage. I mean, that's the nicest one. Again, this is in her evolved state, but I just want to point out she's still also a pretty good backline. Now, in the midline, there is only one good center mid, who is Jury. Her whole advantage comes from the fact that she's going to reduce the life of the line who attacks her by 20%. So if you have a slow line, or you can somehow get them to attack you first, or even just have her holding the ball, it's going to be great. So again, I don't really remember where she is in the book, who's kind of ironic. But if any of you who are Thunder users, I'm sure you'll know where she is. She was obtainable fairly recently as a special player. Again, she's a special player, so it's kind of annoying if you don't have her. But she is the best Thunder center mid in the game, so you want to have her center mid. Now, on the other sides of the center mid, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to have center mid on the right or right side. You're usually going to want to throw a Belle. So Belle, again, is a legendary. I know her ideal position is backline, but she's really going to excel in the midline because of her super play, increased attack power, reflex, critical. It's not something that you're usually awaiting for someone in backline. So putting her midline is actually much more valuable. Other players you're going to find very commonly, you're going to find a Cynthia. She's pretty nice because of this skill. Decrease the enemy's action speed by 15%. That means the entire team's, who's really cool. Especially since Thunder has even more decreased skills and they have some speed buffing skills. You do want to note on a second note that the speed decrease is limited to 50% of their max speed. So unless they have some speed buffs themselves, you might hit that cap. So too much speed reduce kills the speed reduce. I know it's ironic, but it's kind of true. A bunch of pretty nice skills, critical damage, reflex, decrease enemy team's action speed again, and increase damage they receive. This is really nice when paired with Nikita back, who's going to be able to just generate that spirit very fast. And on top of it, this is going to help the front line a lot. Depending on how you play, some people even prefer her front. I wouldn't advise it. Now on the right side, I usually believe in the linear way. It's used even in non-Thunder teams because of increased attack power, action speed, and reflex within the position by some pretty decent values. So I would say she's also a valid option. Now, there is Veronica. You're going to use her either way, but people like to put her center front or on the left side. So just to point out why you need her is because she's going to increase the team's Thunder attack power by 15% and critical damage by 15%. Both of these are something that's just going to be great all around, so you want this. The reason why we put her front is because she's going to decrease the defense by 40%, and she's going to increase the crit rate and reflex in the position by 30%, who's also good for a front, but doesn't hurt for a mid either. And her strategy is pretty bad, so that's the one you're not going to max out usually. Now, on the front note, Thunder has 3 strikers. So we have the legendary Leventor, and he holds his title of legendary very well. He is one of the greatest strikers. I'm pretty sure currently the order is Vonchi, William, Leventor. So again, top 3 strikers in the game. We know he's good. If you get him, you just stick him there. Now, if you don't have him, in my opinion, and again, it depends your setup, your layout, but I'm pretty sure we can all agree that Griffith is going to be the second choice. Why? Well, let's just look at this magical skill, increase penetration power by 50%. This is something you're usually going to get on 2 stones plus passives. On top of it, deals an additional damage to goalkeepers by 50%, and increased damage dealt to Wormwind players, meaning on that very common Jhin, who is the one element weakness of Thunder, they're still going to be doing fairly well. And increase action speed and attack power by 20 minutes with a critical hit. You're just going to try give her crit. It's pretty easy knowing the other totems. And her shot, again, is going to give her crit. So as long as she does her active, this is usually going to activate itself too. Now, if you don't have her, there is Blade. I consider her the worst Thunder striker, and I am running light. So when I see her on the other side, I'm not scared. So I would really not advise using her unless you somehow have a build that makes her good. Again, I am not a fan. In the description, I have put a link of a guide that I use for this reference. The person did use Blade, but it's in everyone's opinion. Now, for the passers, you have to be aware that the passers have been nerfed, but I would still go with Luca. Just because even though she has been nerfed, she still has some pretty decent skills. I mean, increased action speed, pass effect, crit rate being the best part. Icy Road is basically dead, so we're not going to talk about that so much. And Recovering Spirit with a pass or steal is nice. And her active pass is going to be pretty nice. Pass effect and penetration being one of the most looked at stats when you're looking at a striker. So I'm really going to say you're still going to want to use her. So what kind of team would I say, in my opinion, is the ideal Thunder team? Again, this is my opinion, so no reason to get angry, disagree. Everyone has their own way, and none is right or wrong. Just the question is, does it function or not? I would personally put in a front line something like a Leventor, then I would stick a Veronica, and I would finish with a Luca. In the midline, I would usually throw a Cynthia, then I would put Jury, who I can never find, then I would add a Belle, and in the left side, I would write a Linnea, and in the back line, I would usually throw something like a Guinevere, a Nerua, and depending on your preference, one of the 2 remaining, Nikita or Butcher, and as goalkeeper, Raclette. So I hope this helps you understand the basics of building a Thunder team. Again, building a Thunder team is based on the fact that you get either Belle or Leventor early on, and if you only get one, it's fine, because all your dimension stones are going to go to the other one, so it's not that big a deal. So I hope this helps people understand. And again, I want to apologize for the fact that it seems the previous one had a problem in audio. Have a good day.